Hello everyone, this is Joanna. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I wanted to show you how to create this neat pendant. I was trying to come up with a name for it and I decided I'm going to call it Hurricane because it just reminds me of an eye of a hurricane, or a twister for that matter. I already took gold clay and I rolled it out on the thinnest setting in the pasta machine, so that was the 9th setting. I'm going to take my knuckle and I'm going to stretch it just a tiny little bit, not too much, you don't want to poke it, but see, you have that little nipple that is sticking up when you lay it down. This will allow you to grab it and start doing the twist. Now sometimes I think it's better to do it with the gloves on because then my nails don't go in the way. But at this point you're just going to go in and try to make the folds as you please and twist at the same time. So you need to make sure that everything's just very flowy. And every time you make it, it's going to come out completely different. And that's the beauty of it. So this is where I'm at. That's where I'm gonna. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm getting ready. This is gonna be actually my top, and I'm gonna grab a circle cutter, and I am going to cut it out. Just attach these a little bit better, and there you go. Okay, and that is going to be my little twister. Now at this point you want to take it and throw it in the oven, or put it in the oven for that matter, 260 degrees for half an hour. And once you're done with it, when it comes out of the oven, this is what you're going to have. Of course this one looks a little bit different, I already baked it, but that's how it's going to look. So right now we have to decide how you're going to attach it to your chain, and I'm just going to add the little piece right here. The little piece I have already ready here, but I'm going to do in just a minute. I'm going to take the leftover clay and I want to do the back. So just work the clay, make sure it's nice and soft, and we're going to create the back to it. I'm going to place it there. Now this is already hard because it was baked. Oh, sorry for that little shake up there. And you're going to use the same cutter and cut it. And let's see what we got here. And this is going to be a little bit bigger. Oops. There you go. This is going to be a little bit bigger already. So you can use Bake and Bond to attach those and then throw it in the oven. I'm just going to squeeze it. And once I put it in the oven again, they are going to stick together. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I add my little screw in it. So it's going to bake with the screw. Now there's different ways that you can attach the chain to it, so it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. I'm just going to put the screw right there and squeeze it. And also I'm going to go around, and if there's too much of clay anywhere around, I'm just gonna peel it off. Just cut it off. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can always sand it later after it's all said and done. Okay, so I think there's just a little bit too much here. Now I really love this design because it comes out different. There is no right or wrong with it. It's just wonderful. So at this point I am going to put it in the oven at 260 degrees for another 15 minutes so that my back at this point is going to get nice and hard. Okay, so throw it in, and after you are done with it, this is what you're gonna have. We are going to have a pendant like this, and it is hard, it's beautiful, this is sitting, it's not moving. Now if you want to do any sanding, this is the time to do some sanding. What I'm going to do right now is, however, let me just throw my gloves on really quick, which I should have done that before. We are going to apply some black paint to it, and as soon as we apply it, we're going to wipe it off. So let's throw some paint in here, not too much. And let's put it all over it. And I know it looks kind of traumatic. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing to my art? Piece of art? But you'll see it's going to add a beautiful touch. You need to make sure that all those nook and crannies get the paint, because you want to make sure that's where the paint, most of the paint is going to stay in those nook and crannies, and it's just going to add such a beautiful touch to it. I know it's kind of scary to start putting this dark paint all over it. Okay, almost there. And if you don't like it, of course, once we wipe off and you want to add additional touches, you can. So let me show you what we're going to do here. So there you go, it's full of paint. I'm going to take a towel and start wiping it. Start wiping it off. Oh my gosh, oh! Catastrophe, people, catastrophe. Okay. So, this is what we have so far, but you see how much nicer it looks? And now you can go back and you can, if you think that there's too much in those nook and crannies, go with the Q-tip. Sometimes you can go with a Q-tip and get as much out as you can. And at this point, you are done with your pendant, except for after you let it dry, I would put a satin varnish on it, just to seal it. Now, there you go. I think I have just a little bit too much in this little crevice. I don't like when it's that dark. I'm gonna just take a little bit out. But for the most part, well, first of all, you can see that I created a bigger pendant than in the beginning. So this is done. And here, what I did is I found a bezel that actually fit my cutter, and once I cut out my little hurricane, I put it inside the bezel. Now, and here I did it with silver clay, and I added the black acrylic paint afterwards, so you can see how it looks in silver and in gold. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a try and keep crafting. Ta-ta!